Yo, what's up? I'm Praise, this is Dredge. This is going to be the any percent keeper tutorial, but all these rules and that are going to apply to all the categories anyway, so have a look. So this is going to come out with the 1.2.0 release along with the auto splitter. Make sure in your general tab, game mode is set to normal, not passive. Tutorials set to off is just nice so you don't get those pop-ups. And in accessibility, you need to have relaxed fishing mode turned off. Everything else is completely up to you there. I like a smaller resolution so I don't have to move my mouse as far. Yeah, rebind your controls, everything like that to whatever you want. Castability being a bit rebound to spacebar is super comfortable compared to like spam clicking right mouse button, but that's pretty much the only thing I can say there. So with 1.2.0 and the auto splitter coming out, if you either press new game from the main menu here or from here, the timer will start straight away for you. So the first opening cutscene and also any other loading screens such as when you die and have to reload from the start menu, all those loads are going to be taken out just to account for people with faster or slower devices. But that's settings all covered, so I'm going to start the run now. Righto, so the first chapter, the key, it's pretty short, like 6 minutes, and there's only a couple of things we need to do. So first off, we need to catch a single fish for the fishmonger. We need to make some money by selling fishing rods to the shipwright. On day 5, we're going to catch some squid for the fishmonger, and then we're going to go and get the key for the collector. So very first thing we want to do is just mash through the speech with the mare. Then we're going to leave, go to the closest fishing spot, and catch a single fish. After this, we're going to go back to the fishmonger, sell the single fish, and then start our early money grind, which is with the shipwright. So the way the money grind works is when we have below a threshold amount of money and don't have a fishing rod, so we can't afford to buy a new one, the shipwright will automatically give us one for free. So we're going to take advantage of that and just sell the rods she gives us just over and over again until we have enough money to buy an engine upgrade. So sell the fish, leave the fishmonger, take the research part to storage here, and then we start the money grind. So, like I said, we're going to get 7 rods in total, but it's split into a few sections. So it's basically 2 at a time until the final ones. First ones we're going to do here, sell 2 rods, then we're going to go to the mayor, pay off his debt, we're going to come back, do the 3rd and 4th rod, then we're going to install our engines, then we're going to leave, do rods 5 and 6, then we're going to go research, sleep until day 5, do some fishing for day 5, then we're going to come back and do the 7th and final one, and receive a book. So, sounds a little bit more convoluted than it is, but it's just minor interruptions in the middle of rods. So sell the first one, leave, go back to the shipwright, take the new rod to storage, then sell it from storage, so that's 2. Now we go to the mayor, pay off the debt, leave, go back to the shipwright for the 3rd and 4th. So this one goes to storage. We leave. Do the 4th one. Well, sell the 3rd. Sorry, I should have sold that before we left and talked to the mayor again there. So we go back for the 4th one. To storage. And then sell it. So now after the 4th one here, we're going to buy the rusty outboard engine, put it in the top 2 slots, move the peculiar engine to the bottom 2 slots, and then leave. So now we go back in, get the 5th rod and sell it. So that goes to storage, then we sell it from storage. We leave, we go back in, and for the 6th rod, we install it only. So now that's done, leave, research the improved outboard engine, and we want to sleep until day 5. So the reason we're sleeping until day 5 now is that's when the aberrations unlock. So for the next fishmonger's quest, we need to find 1 spooky squid and at least 3 other regular squid so we can afford to buy what we need to buy after we sell them all to him. So we're going to wait until at least midnight of day 5, so 00 day 5. I like to wait until about 2 AM though. Just means that dawn comes a little bit sooner so you can actually see what you're doing a bit easier. Okay, so at 2 AM, I'm going to cut it off. We're going to go out to that closest spot. That's good enough. And from the closest spot here, we're going to catch 4 squid. If you don't get the aberrant, it's okay. There's a backup spot right near it. Pretty much in the direction I'm looking now. So you can go there and catch another whole set of squid. And as long as you get it within the first 8, basically, then you're good to go. Cool, that's lucky I got it on the 4th one there. If we didn't get it right now though, like I said, we'd go up just a bit above here. There's another spot with the exact same squid. Make sure you catch them. If you get 7 or 8, you can skip the final fishing rod as well, but it's nice just to have the extra bit of money. Okay, so I figured I'd show you where the backup spot is. So assume we don't get a spooky squid within our first 4. So this spot is depleted. Cool, so pretend that one isn't a spooky one. Keep heading towards Little Marrow. And it's not far ahead of us. Just a little bit off to the left. Right here. So that's the spot for a bit of a lineup. And yeah, it's available until 6 AM. So if you leave Greater Marrow at about midnight, then you've got plenty of time to fish here. Otherwise, if you leave after about 1 AM, you can usually only catch about 1 or 2 fish from this spot. But then yeah, head back after that. So heading back to shore. Right, so with that as well, there's minor movement tech sort of littered throughout the game. Every time you reach a dock, if you hold dock from as far as possible, the automatic movement is really, really slow, compared to if you spin into the dock and basically crash into it and get as close as you can before docking. Alright, so now we've come back, we go speak to the fishmonger. Give him the aberrant and sell him the other ones. Which gives us the handkerchief. So now for the final part of the money grind, or the early money grind at least. Sell the rod, which is the 6th one. Sell the rusty outboard engine. Buy the improved outboard engine that we just unlocked earlier. Put that in the top 2 slots. Leave, go back in. Take the 7th rod. Leave, go back in, which will get you the book. Then sell the 7th rod. Tab open your menu, go to cabin, select the book here, because just before we reach the next area that's going to pop, which gives us a free 5% movement boost. So make sure you've got that, because it's just free time save. Alright, so after that, that's all done. We're going to boat out to Spooky Shack Island, which is just around the corner to the right here. Now, as with every speed game, everything is about taking the tightest lines possible. So if you're veering around like this, trying to correct your course a lot sort of thing, you're going to be wasting movement and time. Whereas if you keep a straight line, it all adds up over time, you know? So speak to the collector. He's going to install the dredging machine. Then we're going to go out and collect the key from the islands nearby. Alright, now we're back. Give it to the collector. He's going to take it off us. We're going to get the haste ability, and that's the first split done. Alright, so chapter 2 of this one. We've just given the key to the collector, and we've just learned the haste ability. So for the box chapter, we're going to head southeast to the Dusty Pontoon in Gale Harbour, which is N4, N5. And on the way, we're going to grab some upgrade materials in the bronze belt buckle, while hoping to get extra research parts. When we get to the Dusty Pontoon, there's a menu there which I recommend having a practice save for, and then we go into the first big action section of the game. We get the conger eel, the hidden chest from behind the waterfall, and the family crest while the big fish is chasing us. From there we do the hermit and the whaler reunion section, and then we get the box and head back to the collector. So before we start any of that even, we've just unlocked the haste ability. So this is our main movement tech of the game. The way it works is when you press it, your boat goes faster. When you let go of it, your boat keeps going faster for a couple of milliseconds afterwards. So instead of holding it down and using all of the energy in one big hit, we mash it. So every time you press the button and let go of it, you're getting a free few milliseconds of duration. So keep mashing it, and you can almost infinitely extend the duration of the ability. If you mash too fast, you're actually going to decrease the efficiency, because if you cut into those free milliseconds of movement, then you're just using energy when you shouldn't be, you know? So that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you don't haste mash super efficiently, it's not a huge time save, but it's definitely something to be aware of at all times. So we're going to head over towards the little dock over here. Not going the whole way though. We're going to get 2 bits of lumber from behind the rocks here. Then we're going to go around the corner to the southeast and get the belt buckle, the metal scrap, and 2 bolts of cloth before we head to the shipwreck just around the coast. So for any of these dredges, there's a chance to get an extra research part. Nicely done. I wish I could say I planned that, but it's fairly unlikely you'll get one. Oh, what is this? Insane. Okay, so can it be 3 in a row? Nah, bugger. Alright, so now we've got this. We're going to head around the coast. We're going to get the bronze belt buckle, which is the... Oh, it's always a... yeah, sometimes rocks will spawn directly ahead of you. It's definitely not a set course that I'm just not aware of. So we grab the glowing one here, which is the belt buckle. And we're going to get the metal scrap from next to it, and the 2 bolts of cloth from just in the water to the south of us. We're going to go around to the southeast. Just around the coast there is another shipwreck, and we're going to grab some items off that before making it to the dusty pontoon. Ooh, so now we get these bolts of cloth over here. So after I've got these 2, there's a light buoy just directly ahead of us, and we're going to head towards that. So the right hand side of this island, go around to the left of it, go to the boat. Be aware of cyclones and ghost sharks and that, especially now I've got a panic level. Fuck. Ah, well. I mean, yeah, 2 extra research parts is a bit OP. So come in here. Grab this, grab this, grab this, grab this. Now keep going to the dusty pontoon. Okay, so this is where another bit of the game changes. If you didn't get an early research part, you go to the right hand side of the dusty pontoon here and go to the second dredging spot. There's just 2 in a straight line ahead of you right next to each other. You just go right of the dusty pontoon, get the second dredging spot, grab the research part, then come back to the dusty pontoon. If you did get an extra research part or more, don't bother with that, we're going to grab it later on. So, come to the left hand side or just the middle here, dock, and this is where we're going to make a practice save. So preferably, do it once you've reached this place, make a copy of your save, make it read only, that sort of thing, because this menu, once you leave here, is going to be overwritten on your save file. Alright, cool, so we have our practice save made at the dusty pontoon. We're going to load that up, get it all started. First thing we do, we go to the shipyard, sell 2 of our research parts. We go to the floating dock, grab the 2 extra engine spaces. We're going to move everything to storage at that point except for the belt buckle. We're going to go back to the shipyard, buy the simple skimmer and the improved outboard engine, and then we're going to wait until 1800 if it's not near enough too. So First thing, we go to the shipyard, sell 2 research parts, go to the floating dock, upgrade the 2 engine spaces with a bit of wood, 2 scraps, and $100. And while we're doing this, move everything to storage except for that belt buckle. I'm just going to move out of the way. So $100 there, that's done. Go back to the shipyard, buy the simple skimmer for your net slots, buy the improved outboard engine for your engine slots, and that's the shop done. From here, we're going to do the first action section of the game, where we dredge the conger eel, go through the waterfall, get the chest behind it, then we go get the family crest from the middle of the clearing, and then get a research part, all while the big fish is chasing us. After that, we head to the makeshift dock, which is just to the west of where we are. We head around the corner, through the canyon, and meet the hermit. I'll explain that section when we get to it. So for this first one, it's near enough to 1800, so I'm going to head off. Cut through, hug the coast for a while, and then take the second entrance in. Once we get in, once we reach the end of the corridor, we're going to dredge the conger eel, unless we got 2 extra research parts at the start of the game. If you get 2 extra research parts, the extra one you sell is worth more than this whole quest line. So this spot appears at 1800, and the big fish is already coming for you, so you need to be relatively on the ball with this one. He'll be on the right of me here. So I head inside the waterfall, go to the back, get the treasure chest, the doubloons and that. Head back out, we're going to the middle of the clearing. The big guy's still coming for you, so be aware of that. And turn left when we reach this one, because we're leaving to the, what is it, southwest? And we want to be as fast as possible. So that can go there, that can go there. Menuing does help. Being aware of where everything fits beforehand can save you just a lot of headaches, and also being caught out by the big guys. So I didn't turn close enough to it. So research part here, then we're going to head west to the makeshift dock. Once we're at the makeshift dock, we're going to check the campfire for a research part. And because I'm going to make things so we can actually see what I'm doing, we can sleep. Pretty much the only time we don't want to sleep is when it's time sensitive things like the conger eel here. It's to be after 6 o'clock, so we don't sleep for that. The rest of the time, if you see a dock, you may as well sleep at it, just so your panic meter goes down, you don't get blind, you know, you can, yeah, just play the game a lot more easier. So grab that one, we'll go back, we'll sleep until dawn. Beauty. From here, undock, go to the next light buoy, and then turn inside. We're going to take the canyon through to the hermit's house. Should be haste matching actually, what am I doing? Good, yeah, we're going to go to the hermit's house through here, avoid this cyclone. Then we're going to go speak to the whaler. We're going to go do another little action section with the big fish where we blow up the wall. Go back, speak to the whaler, and then we're going to take the hermit to the whaler's house. So hermit whaler, wall whaler, hermit whaler. So for this next bit coming up, there's a bit of movement tech, and a lot of people get tripped up on this, and it's, yeah, one of the most frustrating things in the game. So, once you leave this area, veer right a little bit. We want to hug the archway to the right, and then to the left. And I'll show you when I'm doing that too. Alright, so we have the explosives, we're leaving this archway ahead of me. Approach it from the right. And we want to hug this wall and the opposite wall as tight as possible. And that's so the fish won't get us. Otherwise, he's really consistent at run killing. So blow this spot up. Go back out the way we came. The fish is going to be out here, and he's going to turn towards the left. So turn towards his right when you avoid him. It's extraordinarily consistent after you figure out the movement. But until then, it can be really annoying. So come back, talk to the whaler. We're going to go back, talk to the hermit again. bring him back to the whaler, and then talk to the dog lady. I've done this poorly. How expected of me. Yeah, so menuing, plan ahead. There is already solved menus, it's already pretty consistent, but I'm just kind of freeballing this, as you can probably tell. Okay, so we have just returned the hermit. We've arrived at Ingfell. We have our conger eel in our inventory, but it hasn't aged yet. So we're gonna sleep until dawn. Talk to the dog lady. Again, you skip this if you got 2 extra research parts at the start, because you skip dredging the conger eel entirely. That's 150 bucks there. If you sell an extra research part, it's 175 bucks. Same. So go to the whaling yards after that, because we now have some money. Take the free packed explosives, buy another packed explosives, and then move everything to storage. So, from here, we're going to head off. We're going to grab the music box, and then we're going to head towards the collector's house. So the sapphire earrings here, they can get in the way when you're trying to dredge the box. If you pick them up, it doesn't really hurt. You can sell them to the trader pretty soon, and they're worth 40 bucks when you sell them. If you didn't get an early research part, and we had to get the early one from Gale Cliffs before we went to the Dusty Pontoon, it's not a bad idea to pick up the sapphire earrings, but it's more worth it if you can go and dredge the wreckfish from in front here. So this is the dredge spot for it. If we didn't get an early research part, we've grabbed this one already. If we got 1 or more early research parts, we haven't grabbed it, so we get it now. Again, it's much more likely that you won't get an extra research part in any run. It's only about a 22% chance that you will get 1 or more. So if you did get one, grab the wreckfish from here, but we don't need to right now because we've grabbed the extra research part. So from here, we're going to head towards the collector's house, which is northwest of here. We're going to go to the side of this island, see the shipwreck, and then we're going to continue on to the collector's house after that. So around the corner here, go to the shipwreck. We're opening the second option. Install the basic fishing pole. Then the metal scrap and the weak valve engine to storage. Leave and continue northwest. So we're going through the clearing in the middle of the islands here, the right hand side of the collector's island. Okay, now that we're here, we just need to talk to him and return the box. And he's going to teach us the manifest ability, which is how we're going to teleport back here for everything in the future. So that's split 2. Cool, so chapter 3, the necklace. We're going to the swamp for this one, where it's really easy to get lost if you don't know exactly where you're going. So for this whole chapter, we're going to dock at Little Marrow, speak to the trader and the grieving father. We're going to head to the rickety pontoon in Twisted Strand, which I think is G13. We're going to do the rickety pontoon menu, which is another one I recommend having a practice save for. We're going to go and get the mortar and the fish for the airman in return for the baits, which we're then going to use on the traps to kill the mind flayers. From those, we get the necklace and return it to the collector straight away. So, we've just handed in the key, the music box. We've just been given the manifest ability, which is how we're going to teleport back to the collector later. So, first thing I'm going to do is rest until dawn so we can see what we're doing. Undock. And we're going to head over to Little Marrow, which is just past where the lumber was from earlier. Once we're here, we're going to visit the trader, sell both bags of doubloons and the sapphire earrings if you picked them up. We're going to go speak to the grieving father, give him the belt buckle that we picked up at the start of the game, and then we're going to head through the clearing next to home. So, this is the trader. Give him your doubloons. Leave. Speak to the grieving father. Give him the belt buckle. Take his research part to storage. And leave. You can also move everything to storage if you want. It's just so if you crash into anything, you're not going to lose it. And after we head off from here, we're going through the gap next to home. We're going to spin around the back to the left. There's a shipwreck, from which we're going to get 2 bits of lumber and a research part while ignoring the trinkets within. And that's just because we're not going to visit the trader again, so there's no point picking them up. So a couple of bits of lumber. Grab the research part. Leave. We're going to head northwest for ages and ages and ages. And that's to the Twisted Strand. Right, so just before you reach the rickety pontoon, there's a spot here with mullet. We need to catch 3 of them. Continue to the dock, and then we're going to make a practice save for another menu. Cool, so make your practice save here, then we'll start the rickety pontoon menu. Menu, we need to research 2 things, which are the flexible fishing pole and the anti-tangle line. We're going to go to the floating dock, get the 4 net space upgrade. We're going to move a bit of lumber and a fish to storage while we're doing that. We're going to go to the shipyard, sell the basic fishing pole, the refined metal, a research part, and the weak valve engine because we need $600. Then we're going to buy the anti-tangle line and the basic trawl net. Rest until mid-morning, early morning, and we're going to head off and do the airman section. So the rickety pontoon menu, we go research, flexible fishing pole, anti-tangle line. We're going to go to the floating dock, get the 4 net space upgrade, which is 1 bit of wood, move 1 and 1 fish to storage, 2 bits of cloth, and $125. Now that we've got that, we're going to go to the shipyard, sell the basic fishing pole. We're going to go to storage, sell the refined metal, sell research part, and sell the weak valve engine. We have $642 now, which is dope. So we need to get the anti-tangle line for $350, install that one, buy the net, and then move it to storage. That's the shopping done, so we're going to rest until mid-morning. Mid-morning being like 9 o'clock. Cool, so head off. We're going to go inside the airman section now, inside the swamp. If you get caught behind any of the fences here, it's all good. Just wait for them to go down without moving. So grab the first mortar from around the corner. Then we're going to hug the coast to the left. At the gar from around the corner. And then continue past the first plane to the second plane. So the gar is here until 1800, which is partially why we sleep till mid-morning. But there is another spot for it later if you don't make this one in time. So continue on. Keep hugging the coast to the left. Ignore this first plane unless you're doing a collector run where you'll need the dog tags. Keep hugging the left there until we come around to this second plane where we're going to get the mortar base. After here, we're going to head towards the glowing bottle through the big roots, and we're going to grab a catfish just before we reach it. So this can go... I'm going to have to redo my inventory again because I'm absolutely shocking at it. So come through these big roots. Catfish will spawn after 1800. So just now, there we go. Cool, so we've got that. Go past the glowing bottle, explode the wall here. And then we're going to dock at the airman's camp. Once we dock at the airman's camp, which is just around to the left, we're going to give him everything we've got for the mortar and for the baits. Then we're going to leave and grab 2 eel from that close spot we just passed and come back for the 3rd and final bait. Alright, so discuss bait, give him the gar and 2 mullet. Take the bait to the inventory. Discuss the second bait, give him a catfish and a mullet from your cabin. Take the bait to your inventory. That's it for now. We talk to the 3rd option. Take the research part to storage. Leave. From the close spot here, grab 2 long fin eel. And head back. Alright, so now we've got the eel, talk to the airman again, talk about baiting the 3rd trap. 1, 2, receive the bait. Once we've got the 3 baits, we're also going to sleep until dawn. This makes things a bit easier for visibility, but it's not necessary. Okay, so heading off from here, we're doing the trap section now that we've got the baits. The first one is very close nearby through the east. And when you reach it, spin to the right just before you go into it. We're going at this exit just directly to the west of us here. Take the small curve to the right, and then go across the clearing. If you get trapped by any of these fences, that's all sweet. Keep an ear out for the mind flayers and for swamp tentacles, basically. This one we have to wait for, because we're going to grab the chunk of flesh from it, and then we're going to go back to the first trap. Cool, so take the first chunk of flesh, head back to the first trap, which is across this clearing here. Turn to the left, and grab it. From here, we're taking the northeast exit directly ahead of us. We're going to turn to the left, go past the glowing bottle, and continue to the 3rd trap. Another one, we're going to turn around and go back towards the first trap. So do a 180. Cool. Grab the 3rd chunk of flesh. We're going to head back towards the first trap. But before we get there, we're going to turn right. So get to the glowing bottle that we just passed. Take the immediate turn to the right. And keep turning right past the first trap. Back at the airman's camp now, we're going to give him the 3 chunks of flesh in return for the necklace, and then we're immediately going to manifest to the collector's house. Take the necklace. Leave. And then manifest. Cool. Trick with manifesting is you want to be facing south when it pops, because that way you're directly looking into the collector's house, so you can just go straight ahead to him. Now we're back, give him the necklace, we're going to learn the atrophy skill, no, banish skill, sorry. And we're up to chapter 4. Cool, so we've handed in the necklace, we're on the ring chapter now. This chapter, we're going to head to the old fortress at the Stellar Basin on D5. We need to give 3 different fish to the researcher, which is the glowing octopus, the firefly squid, and the aurora jellyfish. After that, we go to the outpost, back to the researcher, to the starlight pontoon at E2. We do a small menu there, grab the ring, and then manifest back to the collector. So just going to get my splits looking accurate. Alrighty, so the very first thing we do is install the net, install the simple skimmer as well. Net, skimmer, good to go. We're going to undock. Make sure we don't have manifest equipped from when we just teleported. Put haste on, and we're going to head southwest through the islands over here. Once we reach the islands, we're going to equip our net, then go back to haste mashing towards the shipwreck that's slightly to the right of us. We're going to aim for the middle of the shipwreck and keep continuing through it towards the glowing bottle. When we get to the glowing bottle, we're going to turn right around behind the coastline and grab a glowing octopus, which is only available between 6 PM and 6 AM. I'm going to put my net on now and go back to haste mashing. If you're coming at this at night, don't worry about hitting the shipwreck in the middle here. It won't actually damage you. Which I'll steer into it just to show. But raw jellyfish is good. That's one of the two we need to catch with the net. Boom, no damage, easy as that. Doesn't matter which part of the boat you hit. Okay, so we've reached the glowing bottle. Turn right. The far right side of the light blue bit here, get a glowing octopus. And keep heading forward to the old fortress with that light above it. So we've got the aurora jellyfish, we've got the glowing octopus, we just need a firefly squid. How good is that? And we can talk to the researcher. If you don't have all three, or you don't have the two from the net specifically, keep driving straight into the dock. As long as the time is moving, it considers you moving, so you've got a chance to catch the squid or the jellyfish. As soon as you get it, come in here, talk to the researcher, give her all three, which is the octopus, the jellyfish, the squid. Now we're going to leave. You can sleep if you want, as always. But we're heading just outside here, past the coastline, the research platform. From here, we're going to take the first option to check the first room. Then we're going to take all three options to get 2 research parts and a prototype part. So, first option, laboratory. Check the first option for a research part. Second option for a prototype part. Third option for another research part. And then we're going to head back to the researcher. Once we're back at the researcher, we're going to give her the prototype parts, and she's going to install the sampling machine, or the sampling device, in our boat. Ignore the repulsion device that she offers us after that, or just chuck it in storage. That's completely fine. The basic trawl net we don't need anymore. We're going to sell it for about $50 later on, but if it's damaged, it's damaged. You can just catch another fish, you know. Once we get here and talk to her, I am going to sleep again, just because my panic's kind of through the roof. But we've got the prototype parts, we take the sampling device, equip it in these slots. Send the simple skimmer to storage, and ignore the repulsion machine. So we can leave. I'm not actually going to sleep because it's daytime now, so it's all good. Head to the south. We're going to the other platform now, which is the Starlight pontoon. Once we get there, I'm going to unequip this so I can actually continue to sell it. Once we get to the Starlight pontoon, I recommend having a practice save, because there's another menu to do. It's not as involved as the rickety pontoon menu, but it is still good to practice it and be aware of it. Okay, Starlight pontoon. This one, we're going to research bottomless lines for 1 research part. We're going to go to the shipyard where we need $545. We're going to sell our net for about $50. We'll sell any research parts we still have. We'll sell the simple skimmer and the anti-tangle line. We're going to go to the floating dock after that, get the 2 rod space upgrade, which is 2 lumber, a scrap, a cloth, and $95. And then we go to the shipyard one more time to buy the bottomless lines. So, research first, get the bottomless lines. Now we're going to go to the floating dock. Now we're going to go to the shipyard. We need $545. Let's sell any research parts. Sell the net. It's only worth $12.50, unfortunately. Sell another research part. A simple skimmer. And the anti-tangle line. So we still have lumber, cloth, and a scrap, which we're going to go to the floating dock, get the 2 rod space upgrade. So at this point, Our inventory is completely empty. Purchase the upgrade for 95 bucks, go back to the shipyard, get the bottomless lines for 450 I think it is, and install them. Sampling device to storage, undock, get ready to banish, we're about to grab the ring, and there's a big spooky monster. So right in the middle of this clearing there's a glowing spot. Sort of once you reach about here where it starts getting dark, you want to use banish, otherwise you will die. But you know, it's one of those things. There's this glowing one here with the red lights on it. We've got it. Now we're going to manifest and try to turn towards the south if you can. So that way, whenever you arrive here, you're going to be pointing straight into the collector. So talk to him, give him the ring. That's the entirety of the chapter. We're going to learn atrophy now, but we're not going to use it for this category. Okay, cool. So we're on the final chapter. We've given the ring, which is the fourth and final relic we need. And here, what we need to do is go and meet the old mayor at... We need to meet him at J3. We need to come back, speak to the lighthouse keeper. We need to speak to the collector. Then we need to speak to the lighthouse keeper again. Then enter the end game and finish the game. So it's a pretty easy one. First thing from here, make sure that you don't have manifest equipped anymore. Make sure you do have haste equipped. We're going south-southwest, and that's to J3. So if you press M, you can see your map. It's just this one below us. That's the closest location the old mare can spawn at. So of the two islands in the distance, it's the one on the right. The one on the left, slightly to the southeast, is where the photographer spawns. So we're heading over for this campfire over here. Once we're there, we're going to mash through all of the dialogue with the mayor. We're going to get out of that as quick as possible, sleep until dawn or so we have the manifest cooldown. We're going to use manifest, go speak to the lighthouse keeper, sleep again, use manifest, speak to the collector, go back to the lighthouse keeper, and then finish the game. So we're at the campsite now, speak to the old mayor. Leave, sleep until dawn. Manifest. You want to equip haste. Go back into the spooky dude. Sorry, no, don't speak to the collector. Once you've used manifest after talking to the old mayor, we're going straight to the lighthouse keeper. After we've spoken to her, we're going to sleep until dawn, until 6 PM to unlock our manifest cooldown. And then we're going to speak to the collector. So, lighthouse keeper. Leave. Don't leave. Well, I'm all over the shop. Sleep until 6 PM, 1800. Now we can leave. Use manifest. Haste into the dock. Speak to the collector. Have our Tyler Durden moment. And then we're going to go back over and speak to the lighthouse keeper one more time. So if you don't want to sleep and manifest to come back to the collector here, you don't have to. It only saves a couple of seconds type thing over good movement. Now we've done that, we're heading back over to the keeper. So it speaks to the lighthouse keeper that second time. We're going to enter the end game. Then we're going to go through where the key originally was. We're going to hug the right, and we're going to go to the spot lit up by the beacon. So leave. So cut through here. Be aware of this little outcrop just ahead. I'm going to take the safe route. Alrighty, so we're heading for this light up in the distance. Once we get here, mash through it, and the splitter's going to recognize once this text box comes up As soon as it closes, it'll split. Congratulations, that's Dredge Any percent keeper. Maybe in less than an hour, maybe in less than 5 hours. Who cares? You finished a run. I'm proud of you. Yeah, hit me with any criticism. My name's Phrase. We're on Discord. We've got the SRC board. You can message me privately if you want. You can message the server. Just get amongst today. Have a good one.